Hey, Doc, I am fantastic. How are you?
I am very well rested from my little, vacations just fly like crazy. I was gone for a week. It felt like 2 days. Could have
Yeah,
used a couple more weeks, but no, I'm doing good.
I bet you don't have time for a couple more weeks, actually.
Probably not. No.
Absolutely. Well, it sounds like you actually hit the ground running as soon as that plane landed.
I did. I was in my office this morning working on a whole bunch of stuff, and I've been moving my office, so it's today was organizing day, and I made some big strides before I had to make some client calls. So it was a lot of got that done. But yeah, no, vacation was, it's always good to relax and disconnect.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And the good news is, while you were gone, the weather here in Kansas City was actually awesome. And so that is always a fun thing to see. I have gone to Hawaii in January before, and sometimes it is like gorgeous when I'm leaving, believe it or not.
Of course.
It's either stormy or weird or something on the islands. And then you come back to Kansas City and land in snow. And then you have to think, did I put a snow shovel in my car? Because
Yeah.
then they shovel you in your parking spot. And I'm just like, there's so many things to think about when you travel. And now, of course, that's times a million. So how was
Yes.
everything? The travel part went smoothly?
Travel was smooth. I had a blast actually. I posted on Facebook. I did the airplane taking off and say goodbye. And I did. It was twofold. I did that just to say goodbye, and also I was sitting next to a little boy by the name of Hunter. He was 9 years old and very inquisitive and kept asking me questions. And he's like, "Are you going to take a picture?" And so I said, "No, I'm gonna do a movie." So he watched me do the movie, and then we watched it. It was just fun. But no, it was the travel part was easy. The weather down there, I don't go to Florida much in the summer, and oh my gosh, was it hot. It was humid. It was humid. And you could tell the difference. Well, as soon as I landed, they had just finished a storm. And so they open the door and you're like, oh my gosh. Yeah. So we got rain from about 3 o'clock every day. The clouds would roll in. So we learned quickly to get our whatever we were doing done before 3 o'clock. But it rained every day. And actually flying out, we had a delay, about an hour delay. And we flew around the storm. We had to go up the Atlantic side and cut across because there was a big thunderstorm. So, but the weather was beautiful. We got to sit on the beach a couple of days and just ate and drink everything that I normally don't.
Oh, I bet you're feeling great right now.
I'm working on my detoxing. Yes. So, but this was the beach we were at. We were in Siesta Key for a few days, which is just south of Sarasota. It's like a hop and a skip. It's like 5 minutes from Sarasota proper. And it was beautiful. The water was warm and clear, and we had a great time. So
that is awesome. I noticed actually today on the news that Tropical Storm Freddie is hitting landfall today. And so it sounds like you got out of there just in time as far as not having to deal with all that storming.
Yes, but I was whining before I got on the plane that, oh, it'd be nice to stay another week.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
That was the joke. Plus we were working on puzzle, and I love to do puzzles, and it wasn't finished.
Okay.
So,
I would have had to have stayed.
and she actually sent me a picture. And I probably should have put it on my background. I just thought of that, but she sent me a picture. She's almost finished. The hardest part of the puzzle, they have all of these phrases. It's the life is good. You see that logo thing
Yes.
or whatever that is.
Yes.
All over the place. It was a puzzle on life is good. So they had all their little pictures, and the last two parts that she didn't get finished yet, it says life is good in different areas of the puzzle. They're all the same size. They are all the same color, and it's black and white. And it's not, you're like, you go crazy just trying to. So she's like, I'm almost there. I mean, we worked on it for 3 days and had 2/3 of it done. So it was a hard puzzle.
Well, and I was going to say, it sounds like you're both dedicated in the same capacity. So I know she will get it finished.
Totally.
Yeah. She being our mascot mama, Beverly. So yeah. Your pictures are so gorgeous, and it does look like you guys had the best time. Now for a question I actually have forgotten to ask you every time.
Yes, Queenie.
Did we go fishing?
No, we did not go fishing. We had several decisions this trip. I've been down there now probably 7 or 8 times to visit her. And we made one major decision outside of fishing. We have been searching for the perfect key lime pie, and we decided that we can't find it. So we've given up our search. We did discover that, or when we thought about the ones that we thought were pretty good, they actually were cheesecake. So we can't find key lime pie that, so, but the fishing part, we also made a decision. I do not do well on a boat. I keep trying. I'm okay on smaller boats, like in smaller lakes. But when you get out in the ocean, I've done everything they say. I've taken the Dramamine. I've taken the, I look on the horizon. I do all of that, but my body doesn't like that. I get immediately sick. So, so we didn't go fishing.
Wow. Well, it sounds like you had a fantastic time for sure. And maybe fishing will be left to the Kansas City visits. What about that?
Yes, she will be back here in a month, and we have our fishing lined up. So we will be going for bass and all of those buddies. So, So yeah, but so I wanted to talk about, if you don't mind, I'm going to take advantage of, taking a break. The biggest thing that stuck out for me, I am relaxed, and it's good to be back. I'm well rested, and had lots of fun. And part of the reason I went, business is always up and down, up and down, up and down. It really hit home this time around how important it is to disconnect and regroup. I'm an A type of personality. I know you didn't know that, Queenie, right?
I'm writing it down as you speak, Dr. Laura.
Yeah. So I go. My head goes go with me. So I never turn it off, or most of the times I don't turn it off well. And this time around, I really needed a vacation, and but throwing the question out there, how many people really intentionally disconnect from business or whatever? And I guess we could put it in a business sense, because we do talk a lot about business. But how do you disconnect? How do you disconnect? I mean, I'm not saying, hey, everybody go on vacation. It's nice if you can do that, but how do you disconnect? A lot of people out there, a lot of the life coaches, and you hear it with other people too. Self-care is super important. And if our foundation is shaky or stressed out, everything it weaves its way into business. We're talking about business. So that was the biggest piece for me. The biggest learning was to disconnect and actually think about different things that I needed to do once I got back. I didn't spend a lot of time on that because I wanted to disconnect in a lot of sense. But as I got closer to leaving, I started thinking about, well, how I'm going to do different, how I'm going to do things differently to be not as stressed when I get back. So what are your thoughts on that, Queenie?
You brought up several points, Dr. Laura. Actually, for people who are driven, it's a different topic for disconnect than for people who meander their way through their lives all the time. I hear so many times with people with whom I get to do one-on-one meetings. That networking stuff you talk about really doesn't work. And so my answer to that, or my question after, is always, what are your expectations? And the same thing with starting a business. I hear people all the time say, I tried that MLM stuff. I tried that direct selling stuff. I tried owning my own business, whatever that looks like. And that stuff did not work. The rest of the sentence actually is, that did not work for me. Some people need the 8 to 5, 7 to 6 type of job where they work with and for someone else. They need the schedule, they need the structure, they need to actually be somewhere. And then they need the 2 weeks vacation with the opportunity to earn weeks after that. And what's the first question when you interview someone for a job? They instantly want to know not the first question maybe, but during the interview at some point, when it's getting closer to the being hired thing, what is the vacation schedule topic? How many sick days do I get? I always love that question, especially. I actually get to help a lot of HR professionals as far as some of their questions that they would be asking during an interview. It's very personality sales in my brain is kind of how I work with that. You would not put a driven A person at the front desk as a reception person, because they would have no time to chat with them. Oh my gosh, your dog is adorable. A's don't do that. Get in, get out. Let's move on. And so the HR piece with the personality sales training that I have done before is a big deal for me. And so what are your expectations? That particular type of job didn't work for you. The first thing you want to know is the vacation schedule and the sick days. I'm always walking into something like that going, are you planning on being sick? Like, you already want to know what your sick days are going to look like. And then for me, the rest of the story as an employer, you're already thinking about time off instead of what can you offer to the company?
Right.
What can you
They're
offer
looking at the benefit. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. What do
I
you
get?
bring to the table? And especially those of us in servant leadership, we instantly think in terms of you only get out of something what you put into it. If you dive in with both feet to something and you literally give it 1,000,000%, then you're going to reap the benefits. And I have always said, maybe not on earth, but God sees what we're doing every single second.
Right.
And so the benefits are not necessarily always monetary either. And that's the other piece that I think a lot of people miss. They want to go to a networking event and sell 10 million of their somethings by lunch. And I'm always like, well, if that works for you, hallelujah, but I don't know. And then Dr. Laura, one of the things I wanted to even mention when you're talking about the vacation time, if you paid you, and I'm talking generic entrepreneurs, if you paid you for your efforts as an employer, how much would you pay yourself? So you get into an entrepreneurial business and you're instantly thinking, I want to make 100 grand my first month. Awesome, go for it.
Yep.
But then I see the efforts being put forth,
Right.
the dedication, the consistency, all of those words. And then I always kind of meander, puzzlement. What does this look like now? If you were the employer of you, how much would you be willing to pay you for what I saw you put forth? And it ain't no 100 grand, baby girl. And so that's what I always think about when people are, that networking stuff doesn't work. And I tried all that selling stuff and it doesn't work for me. And you didn't network while you were down there. It was just the two of you most of the time. Well, wait a minute. I bet you did network, didn't you?
We actually networked a little bit. I mean, I make friends wherever I go.
Yes, you do.
We actually kind of networked and were able to bless some people. We had our server at one of the restaurants we were at was a kid that his background was he was a dancer, but he also was homeless for 5 years and he was trying to put his life back together.
Oh
and
my
he was
God.
working 3 jobs. And nothing is an accident. So we were able to bless him. We gave him a mighty tip to help him because he was such a great server and but like you're saying, with the effort that you put in and what you get out of it. And also, as you were talking to, and I'm kind of sidetracking, which we never do on this show.
Oh yeah, hang on a second, Doc and Queenie, duh. Okay, go, I got it.
Yeah, okay. Everything has a time, everything has a season. Everything has a purpose. There are no accidents that people cross our paths, whether we're in a networking situation or not. And I know for my business, I can say, of course, from my viewpoint, my business is a little different. I'm not an MLM. I am, we'll call it stick built from the ground up. I don't have a support system. So you're looking at the marketer, sales, practitioner, go down the list. I have to do it all. And that can be overwhelming. But in the same sentence, my purpose is what I'm doing. My purpose is in what I'm doing. And I get impatient, because and maybe it's just our culture too. It's that it's the quick fix. I see it in my naturopathy, give me a supplement and I'll see you later. I'm done. It's that's our mindset. And I think that filters into a lot of my business. I'm going to have $100,000 this month. That'd be great. You'd never see me, the amount of effort to put into that.
Yeah, seriously, that'd be the end of the show. Where's Dr. Laura? Working.
Yeah, she didn't sleep yesterday. No, like you said, expectation. I think that's where we get in trouble, when we have expectations that are really, is it realistic? And I'll use myself as a perfect example for today. Today was a new start for me. It's Monday, and we all know I'm not fond of Mondays. You are? Yeah. But I actually, okay, you ready, Queenie? I actually was looking forward to today because I was starting. I know. And my expectation is I made a list of what I needed to get done. I put it on my planner and I got it done. And it's not a huge, big, I didn't reinvent anything. I didn't write any books today. It was just a couple of that I wanted to hit. That's as far as my expectation goes. Because how much, when you think about expectation, how much pressure are you putting on yourself? And then expectations of what you think about people. How much pressure are you putting on them? And as we say, people will always fail you. God never fails you. He's put you in this place. He's given you the, desires of your heart, and we all have gifts, and hopefully people out there are able to use their gifts and their desires are, business wise, that's all connected. But yeah, that expectation piece is huge.
And think about what you just said. You aren't a fan of Mondays yet, previously. You had things you needed to get done. You decided to write them down on a list, and now you're able to check things off that list. It doesn't matter today if you put 2 things on there: wake up, eat lunch, boom. Whatever that looks like, I accomplished my goals for today. Tomorrow, wake up, drink coffee, eat lunch. Now we've got 3. So can we do that? And every single day, it's like an add to the list thing. And then you see that you got it accomplished, and now you can do it. What happens with so many people I have seen, they put 10 million things on here. Get my taxes done, do my this, fix my office, sort my this, write a book, go to 10 networking events, bam, 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 all today. And they wake up and they see that list and they go, are you absolutely kidding me? I am not even getting out of bed. And that's where they instantly go, this sucks, I failed. And the expectation piece is what I have seen as the challenge. And you did it perfectly to all of a sudden wake up on a Monday with a different attitude. And all of a sudden, what happened? You get to sort your new office, yay. You get to do the things on your list, accomplish them before noon, hello, double yay. And now whatever you create for your list tomorrow, and you get started on the rest of your day today, if you're available for that, you're that much ahead of the game tomorrow when you wake up. I cannot function without a list.
Well, and being an A that I am, I'm confessing, I guess.
Bless me, Father, go ahead.
Yeah. I still got it. I didn't make many lists, or I would make a list. Like you were saying, it would be a mile long, and I look at it and go, I'm not going to do this. Yeah.
And then I go one step further with that. Whose idea was this? This looks like my handwriting.
Put that list together. Oh, I'm the only one here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, isn't the definition of success is getting up? It's not failure. People always throw that word failure around. There's no such thing as failure.
And if I ever hear the failure word, I always add, what did I learn from that?
Right.
So I didn't accomplish my yesterday something, So I didn't fail. I learned what cannot get in the way of my next step if I choose to accomplish that. And it really, for me, definitely is attitude. And again, if we put 10 million things on that list, because tonight we're feeling fantastic, and by golly, when we wake up tomorrow, it is like a whole new ball game. That is fantastic. But when you work for yourself, at least I have found, one phone call changes my day. One client needs a help with a this or something with the filter or back to an install, or just remodeled their kitchen and needs a new spigot for their something. One phone call changes my day. It doesn't stop my day, but it adds something on the list I wasn't ready for that included a person. And the person is the part that takes up the time that will not allow me to accomplish the rest of my list, which means now I put it on for tomorrow. Then I put it on for the next day. It'll still get done because it's on my list, and by golly, it's gonna get done. But one phone call can, when you work for yourself, can change your day.
Oh, totally, totally. And I had a phone call this morning and it has changed my day. It changed my day for tomorrow.
Yes. And that really is the deal. And obviously, public servant, servant leader, serving others, whatever that looks like for any of us in business, all of that part is fine. But it really is back to that same thing. Your business is on your focus: car payment, house payment, college tuition, whatever all of those bill things look like. But that's back to the same deal. You got in business for a reason.
Right.
What was the reason? Does the reason still exist? And for me, it's not a quit opportunity. We've talked a lot about refirement here. I don't intend to ever retire, because for me, my business is such that I get to refire every day. Right. I get to refire every Monday. And I'm in a call actually today at 3:00. Every single Monday when we meet, it is a peer group kind of call. And I always go, hi, and everybody else is going, oh God, it's you again. And
it's happy Monday, lady.
Yeah, and they seriously do. And so one of the leaders on the call now plays music as everyone is getting on to get everybody else fired up. They call it the Kathy level, to get everybody else fired up to the Kathy level, because all of them are just going, oh, I hate this so much, I can't even stand it. And so it really, you see what I mean? It's the expectation of a Monday, and they hate me because they hate Monday. I get that. So I am that person that makes them nuts. I get that, but it's just such a cool thing to start a new, fresh week. You're a perfect example of that. You just got off the plane on Saturday, my friend, and here you are setting up your office, making your list, accomplishing your goals. Bam, you literally hit the ground running.
I had to.
Yeah.
In honest transparency, I was stuck. I was stuck before I left and starting to get frustrated. And then it gets into that expectation, the mind, bleh. So whatever that means, mindset was just off. And it's just, it was a disconnect, restart. And I was going to mention, and I have to mention to you on this, of course, you're showing up happy on your Monday. Remember the first thing I told you when I met you?
You admitted that you are this happy?
Why is she, are you always this happy? Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah. So if anybody's wondering, yes, it's consistent.
Oh, good. That'll be the one that'll call me and I'll be like,
yeah.
Uh-huh.
Your one phone call that changed your day. Yeah.
Yeah, seriously. But it really is for me a child of the king thing, that whole drill. I answer to one person on the planet, and for me, that's Jesus. And that's it. And so he's my mastermind call. He's my accountability partner. He's my everything. And so I don't ever have to worry about the gremlins and the enemy and the stuff coming in, because I've already got that protection thing. You cannot mess with my head. And so the happy part just literally happens from that. Now, I will also admit, since you said that, because now I know that people are going to be going, I'm going to fix her. I'm going to see if I can get that smile knocked off her head. But it really is back to that same thing. None of this for me has been instant.
Right. Yeah, well, you're an overnight success, a 13-year overnight success.
Yeah, exactly.
You establish
So-
yourself in one day.
Yeah,
Right.
I sure did. Absolutely. Yesterday wasn't good. Today I'm a rock star. Oh yeah, absolutely. But it really is the deal. It is not instant, at least in my experience, for any of this. You can't be happy every day. Stuff happens. There's world circumstances. In fact, I was just on a call right now. Guess what happened in Haiti yesterday? Dominican Republic, devastation.
Yes.
Devastation. And if you guys want a connection to a link where you can help the Haitians and people who suffered yesterday, I have a link for that. But seriously, everything in our world, globe stuff, politics, economy is not happy, joy, joy every day. But I do not let that affect me in my brain.
Well, and stuff happening, I went down to Florida kind of cranky. I will admit, as you probably know, I was cranky, wasn't I? When I left, I was cranky.
We're on a recorded line, Dr. Laura.
Doc was cranky. Whatever. Don't judge me. But God that happened, and that's always, to me, those stuff that happens that you're like, I am so blessed and I'm so thankful. My hair is messy and I'm whining about it or whatever, I was cranky. And I told you this story yesterday when we were following up. I sat next to this little boy by the name of Hunter, and his aunt was sitting next to him, and she had this really cool tattoo on her arm. And I made this comment about, I love your tattoo. I always look at everybody's artwork. And I'm too chicken to do that. So, I live vicariously through their tattoos. And there was a story behind it. And it was one of those, thank you, God, for my blessings, because it was a tattoo that she put on her arm because her sister had a baby that was born at who was 1.5 pounds. And the baby lasted and was here for 8 months, but her lungs never developed. And she showed me a picture of the family around the baby, and that actually really affected me because my oldest was in ICU and we almost lost him. But that was that. Thank you, God, for my blessings. I have nothing to complain about. I have nothing to complain about. Our weather in Kansas City, we haven't had devastation. You could go down the list. And taking that mindset, even in business, there's reasons for everything. And people, if you're cranky, or it's not going right and you're frustrated, you can sense that in somebody else. I mean, it's, you may think you're hiding it, but a lot of times people can sense that. And it's all about how you're coming across, what's coming out of your mouth, how your behavior is. You are truly happy, Kathy Weaver. I'm sorry, Queenie.
I'm sorry, okay? I'm just sorry.
Just knock it off. Just knock off being happy. Cranky. I'll just be cranky and you can be happy.
Okay.
Glad. Yeah. But yeah, it's mindset, and it's just, we've got the connection with God, and it's just being, thankful for every day, because we are here for a purpose. All of us, every one of us, every single one of us. And maybe this is the encouragement I need to say to people that might be cranky or are thinking, my business doesn't work. I need to get out of this. This is horrible. There is a reason you're doing the business. There's a reason you're watching this. And maybe it's just for us to say,
beg them. Yeah, because we beg them to watch.
Yeah. Besides that, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll send you your payment later.
Yeah,
But no, encouragement with, there's a reason and you have a purpose. And just keep getting up. Keep getting up.
That is a perfect, and that saying that they do, if you woke up today, that means you still have a purpose on this earth.
Yes.
The people that react to that always crack me up. They go, and expletive, they're not into that. I literally, because I'm a freak and I even like rain, even on a Monday, I will admit that, but we have gone through several weeks with no rain in Kansas City. So all of a sudden, we did get a deluge downpour, yes. And it was kind of,
I heard.
yeah, it was a lot of rain very quickly, but I was grateful for free water. So I have in the past, I didn't do it this time because I was actually out in this, if you can imagine, but I have before taken a video and gotten a little section that's kind of a puddle section so that you can actually see the rain hitting the ground. And I said, oh my gosh, I am so grateful for the rain and the free water today. Isn't it such a blessing? Now, I would not actually think that little video, not even 30 seconds, would make people angry. Oh my gosh.
It did, didn't it?
I just couldn't believe it. I got responses. We're flooding down here in the West Bottoms, or we're flooding out here and wherever they are. And I can't believe you're so happy about this no good rain. Oh my gosh. And they're going off on me. And I just thought I'd post a little video, not about business, not about networking, just a little happy joy video about water. And I got nailed for that. Wow. And I literally thought, OMG, and where my brain went, where are they coming from? Where are they coming from? Every single thing we get is awful. That's not how I roll.
Well, and then the lesson in that and how you handled that with their reaction. Did you let that bother you?
No.
Did you let that define your day?
I felt badly for them.
But you didn't let that define your day or hurt you. You kept moving forward. And that's another piece to business, especially, because there's going to be people that won't like you, or, oh, I get my insurance from so-and-so, or my this or my that, or you're too expensive, or you're this or you're that, okay, it's not a good fit. Move on.
One of the hardest things for people starting out, and I know that you've had this question with some of your other practitioners recently about, does your family believe in what you're doing and or support your business and or purchase your product or service? And most of the time, the answer is my family doesn't want to hear my mouth one time ever, no matter how excited I am to start my company. And everyone I talk to says that. I can't do business with my family. They hate me, or they don't want my something, or they think I'm a freak, or whatever that looks like. Everyone has the same pervasive theme. I don't do business with my family. And I'm always like, well, that's not how it works for me, but it does apparently work for others like that.
Yeah, I actually was talking with a physical therapist yesterday, and she's like, her family doesn't take and she's been doing it for 30 years. And they don't, and then they go to somebody else, and then the other physical therapist says, oh, you need to do this. And she goes, like, I told you that, that seems to be a pervasive theme.
Oh, and it's the funniest thing to me. This is too long of a story to go into, but just like you were working on a Sunday, actually, so was I. Long story happened from Indiana to Kentucky to California to Overland Park. I ended up with a person who wanted Kangen water to sample it. And so I'm always happy to do that. They find me on the internet, whatever. And so I always ask, how did you hear about it? What are you drinking now? What kind of gallon a day does your family do? You have a big family, small family. I mean, there's a certain amount of questions that I ask when I meet someone brand new. They're not mine. I get zero monetary benefit from this topic. I just like to help them. And he said, I can't say the store name, but he said, I purchased alkaline water from ABC store, and I wanted to see if Kangen water is different. And my heart smiled, because it is not even,
there's no comparison.
No, and it's the funniest thing to me when stuff like that happens. Literally Kentucky, Indiana, California, back to Overland Park. And he wants to know if the alkaline water he's been spending a fortune on is the same as Kangen, that is a 9 million % cheaper. And I just smiled to myself, because I thought, isn't it funny how God works? I have zero monetary investment in this dude, because he's going to buy his machine from the other lady, which is great. I already told her that. She called ahead of time. She did everything water share correctly, and he gets to try the water. I will admit, my brain went, I think I'm going to start him at the highest level, but I didn't do that. And I just thought to myself, isn't it a funny thing that people hear from one person and they want to hear it from another person?
Yep.
And then they go, you know, that stuff you've been telling me, maybe you're not so nuts anyway. And how do we believe that? How do we resonate with something like that?
Yes. Well, and speaking of the water, and remember my 31 days of what to do with Kangen water.
Yes.
I had a lot of responses, and I had a few people reach out to me, on the side with like, really? You can clean your countertops with that? Like, yeah.
Yeah.
It's still just water, but there's a lot of benefits to this machine, but it's just funny.
It is.
Yeah, it's funny how people.
What? It's education, Dr. Laura. Think about it.
About everything
you do is you hold this tomato and you teach someone that for you, this tomato might be beneficial. For that person over there with arthritis, maybe a nightshade is not a good idea.
Correct.
And you are the one to actually know that and put the pieces together. I really do. I think education for any of our companies is a huge component of what we can do. Yes.
And likewise with everybody, that's whatever they're doing. Something resonated with you to do that business. And I the way I look at it too, if I'm not educated, it's almost a disservice to the people that I'm helping if you don't educate yourself as best you can. On the other side of that, I always, with my clients, will say, if I don't know something, I will go out and or recommend somebody else, or it's always that give and take. It's always it's that service attitude. I'm not the authority. I'm not the authority on how to do a garden box, but I've got a lot of experience, and like you say, people resonate with people, and they learn from different people, and they all cross paths. But yeah.
I have another gentleman. This cracked me up when you said, if you don't know something, you go find the answer. He is adorable, and he's smart, and he's fun, and he's blown away by the difference in his family with this water. So every once in a while, I will get a text. How do I this, or where did I this, or why did it that? What, just some kind of question. So I respond. I mean, that's my job. And he goes, rats. And then there's this pause. And I'm kind of like, rats, what is the next thing? I thought I could stump you. I'm going to keep trying. And he's so cute, but he asked the question, or an out there kind of thing, or a something component, hydrogen, and he's doing this. And I just answer. I mean, I've been trained for 13 years, and literally he goes, rats. And I kind of wait for the pause. And that's when he said, I thought I could stump you. I'm going to keep trying, but I thought I could stump you.
Good luck.
But it was so cute because that was his brain. He found something, a little information out there, and he asked about it, and I responded, and I didn't know it was a quiz, which is funny now that I'm going to say, oh my gosh, let me see if I can ask, and I'll say his name instead. Oh, whoops, that's you. And so I'm going to back it up a little bit for him, but it is just so cool that people have resources right here in the Doc and Queenie family. We have resources right in our own community. Oh my gosh. And people, I think doing business with people in our own community is the coolest thing ever.
It's a lot of fun. Well, and you were talking about he was trying to stump you. Remember, I had almost all the 31 things to do with Kangen water, but I'm like, Queenie, I think I've run out of everything that I do and I know. And you came up with a couple to help me out.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. And that's the coolest thing for me, that the uses are endless, but it was very cute. Your 31 days was, and quite frankly, I think it only works if you actually use it, but I do feel
I think it does.
Yeah. People actually learn. I think one day you were actually cleaning a window and I went, well, good luck with that, sister, but okay. But it was just a cool thing that you put a different spin on what you've been doing with your water machine that a lot of people hadn't thought of before. It was a very cool series. You're very
well,
good.
And like you say, it's interacting, and all the people we interact with, especially local.
Yeah.
We're always learning from each other.
Oh, and 1,000,000%.
Dynamic community locally, and we're national and international with the networking we're doing. You're more international than I am, but
you have a ministry in India, dear. I think we are.
Well, okay, yes.
I think we are compatible as far as international growth. Yes. And speaking of ministry, etc., our time is up again.
Yeah.
I wanted to talk to you forever about your trip and all the different things, but hopefully we can do that each day or next week while you think about each day of your progress in your office, because this is going to be so cool to see how that list is continuing to work out for you.
A lot of work ahead, but looking forward to the end result, you know, and you can apply that to business each and every day, one step at a time. So thank you, Queenie. And thank you everybody for joining us today on Doc and Queenie Facebook Live. If you would like to join us on Thursday nights at 7, we also do a Bible trivia. You don't have to be a Bible scholar. We just do a little quiz, and sometimes the questions are hard, sometimes they're not. It's on StreamYard, so you can participate, or you can stalk, like I stalked Queenie this past week while I was on vacation.
Yes, you
But
did.
she knew I was watching, so I don't know if that was necessarily a stalk. So, or please join us next Monday at. Thank you, everyone. Take care. Have a fantastic week. Thank you, Queenie.
Thank you, Doc. Have a great week, everybody.
Bye-bye.